All right, Cameron Graham. I work for Burlington Alliance Capital Management as an investment advisor representative.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, before I introduce my guest, let me say if my voice goes in, goes out, you guys, if I blank out for a second on the screen, don't worry about that. A little under the weather. CES. It was 45 degrees in Vegas, so I'm trying to recover. And of course, everybody who was sick there would not wear a mask and had to cough around me. The joke is we caught COVID 20 times, and that's everybody, not just me, but we didn't catch COVID, people. But today's guest, Cameron Graham, is going to give us the game on investment. And I got a LinkedIn from him, and I said, hey, he's a young guy. I see he has a position here, but he's also an athlete or a former collegiate athlete. He might still have some, some prospects out there. So I don't want to say the dream is dead because he also is a coach, but he's going to give us the game on the investment game that he does and how he advises people. So you guys, for those of you who have a couple coins, life is good, or if life is, just coming up, it's never too soon to learn. So Cameron, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And like I said, this is like, let's get to know each other and see what we have to offer. I'm a nosy consultant in public relations, sports agent, scrum master, whatever other certifications I have after paying Sally Mae back her $100,000. Give us the game on what you do, my bro.
Yeah, so a little background on me. I graduated this past May with a master's in business administration and a concentration in finance. So I played 5 years of college baseball as a starting pitcher, and then athletics were kind of a big part of my life growing, really my entire life. So then wanted to, combine the athletic side with the finance and business side with my degree. And so, just got looking around and found Burlington, and that was kind of the route I was able to take with it. So I do some work as a coach as well. I help out at a baseball facility in the area that I'm from, working with kids, one-on-one lessons, clinics, pitching stuff, really kind of a mix of everything. And I also help out with a travel team on the weekends too, practicing right now, and then do some tournaments in the summer with them this coming summer. But on the investment side of things, we're really kind of different than everybody else in the industry. We take the ultra high net worth service and provide it to everybody that we work with. And that's through, our one-on-one services, our customization and our active management. So the big thing with us is we put a big importance on the customization aspect of it. So everything that we do is completely centered around who we're working with. Everything is, the client's able to have a say, and really kind of, based around their goals, their interests, their timeline, and kind of everything, their situation, we're able to, adapt and change things around and build the whole, think about the big picture and build a whole plan around them. We really work with anybody. Burlington's based out of North Carolina. I actually work right from home in Maine. So like I said, we work with anybody across the United States. But the big thing I've been doing lately, kind of putting my, kind of working in the athletic side, is I've been working with athletes. That's kind of my niche lately, kind of my thing. So like I said in the beginning, I just wanted to combine my passion for sports and also the business side. And Burlington's allowed me to do that in talking to agents, talking to college athletes, talking to pro guys, minor league guys, everybody, and just kind of, helping a lot of these guys out with, starting to think big picture, because a lot of these guys, their lives change overnight, whether they get a contract, a NIL deal. And the thing too with athletes is it's not a regular, it's not the banker that works a regular 9 to 5. Their careers they could be cut tomorrow. It could be a 2-year career, could be 5, could be 10, could be 15. So really with us, that whole customization aspect that I mentioned really tailors to the athletes because their situations are changing all the time. So we're really able to, adapt around them, build everything around them and their situation, and just kind of, build with them and grow with them throughout their career as their circumstances change, as they, maybe they decide to retire in 5 years, maybe they come into a nice contract, really kind of, adapt with them and grow with them.
Wow. Now that's great stuff. I'm glad that you're able to, because we were talking off air, like when you do something your whole life and then, you're supposed to be finished, but you don't have to be finished, and that you've been able to transition, not just with the coaching and the training, but also now with helping them with their finance. What do you think? Well, first of all, do you feel that you ever get dinged for being so young and people say, wait, you're going to help me with my income planning, my retirement, and my wealth management? You just got out of school. Like, is the baby face? Because I can remember those days and I still think I got it, but I'm 40 plus years old. So I'm like, I can show them the gray hairs now, even though it's long. Like, do you feel like there's some type of sometimes prejudice? Like, this young guy's telling me, and he might be my age, or I might even be older than him. Are you getting that effect at all?
Not so much with the athletic side. Just because, athletes are more, I found, kind of open to that conversation, especially, with all the NIL deals with college athletes and the pro guys as well. They're more open to a conversation because they themselves are building a team around them as well to help with, help with finances, help finding a house, stuff like that, to kind of take some stuff off of their shoulders so they can just kind of focus on ball. Yes, I'm young. It does turn some heads sometimes when I join a meeting real quick. I'm not the typical, 40-year-old advisor, been doing it for 20 years. But, just being able to relate to the guys and develop a relationship with them is the biggest thing. So it's gone fairly well so far.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Because I can remember being young and being in, the business, and it's not right. There's some great young people doing big things. Even I was watching Coach Prime, Deion Sanders thing on Prime, and Sam is his like business manager, his day-to-day manager, and he's a young guy, long hair, and Prime gives him all the credit for where he's at, which is it's a great thing. So with the income, management, some of these guys, like you say, you can get people are getting some big deals even in college. What do you think? Like, where do you see people's mindset? Let's say you get $1 million, but you don't get to keep $1 million. Maybe you're lucky if you get to take home, 650, 600 after the tax man and everybody else. If you already got a team around you, heck, maybe you're happy to get 400 after that because of the team around you, depending on what you're paying them, and mom and dad and all that, because they got to get their cut. Like, where are you seeing people if they are getting these big checks? Are they being more responsible, or are they blowing it on the gram?
Well, so yeah, that's the thing that I'm really trying to, kind of help fix the stigma in a way, because there is too many stories of athletes, coming into money and, blowing it, whether it's, fancy cars, stuff like that, or just people taking advantage of them, whether it is their, it's sad, but sometimes it is family that steals from them, family, the people that are closest to them. So the biggest part with that's what I'm really trying to do and trying to help out with, is because too many of these guys, they end up retiring. Some of them file for bankruptcy, and they were just retire with a lot less than they probably should have, or it's just, especially early on in their career, it's a lot harder to get by and to get started. So where I come in is just really trying to help them. They can really start with as little or as much as they want. We don't do account minimums. So they could literally, if they just were interested and wanted to get started and just kind of thinking about opening an investment account, investment portfolio, they could open it with, $100. So it really just I like that aspect of it because it allows them to be comfortable with what they're doing, and kind of start, how they want to go about it. But yeah, just really trying to help guide these guys on, everybody, especially when they sign that first big contract, everybody's coming at them. So it's just trying to, give some advice, help guide them on, okay, that's great. Like we can live this lifestyle, like live the, fancy car, stuff like that. But let's put a little bit aside and kind of think big picture here for, once you're not only during career, but for, after, once your career is over with, to have something off to the side so that we can, really make a whole, not just a 15-year career, but have a full, be set for life, really.
Yeah. And for most of us, if you gave us, $20 million and, to be fair, you're probably taking like 12 home, depending on what state you're in,
Yeah, taxes
off
and all that.
taxes. Well, even with 12, we could live a great, life with $12
Yeah.
million. Something about entertainment,
Mhm.
politics, maybe, especially in the times where everybody needs to feel like I at least got to try to fly private. Like
Yeah.
that's just a great experience, depending on how you do it. But
Mhm.
what do you think like is something that you can get through to the people to say, less is more, because with the less you spend, the more you have in a lifetime.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the big thing, is just really trying to, reach out to these guys and explain to them, that you hit it right on the money. That less is more, especially over your whole lifetime. The less you do now, yes, you can still splash a little bit here and there, live the lifestyle a little bit. You can still do that, but just try to be just constantly talking to them. Again, it goes back to building that relationship. The biggest thing in it is just building a relationship and building trust and kind of a friendship between the guys. And just, having an open conversation about, let's really kind of dive deep into this and figure out, you know, what we got to do to, be able to live the lifestyle, do what you want, do some stuff like that. But also, let's break things down and let's figure out a good, everybody's situation is different. So I can't sit here and say one thing kind of fits everything. But, look at their situation and then just have a deep dive into what's going on and figure out, maybe we should, put X amount of dollars each month into the account, into a savings account with, into the investment account, sorry. And just kind of, if we get, a couple percentages here, that like over time that builds up. And like what you said, once the career is over, because once the career is over too, those checks stop coming in. Unless you're, Bobby Bonilla and you got the the deal is still going on. But for the most part, once the career is over, that the money stops coming. So, really trying to develop a plan so that when that is done, we've already done the groundwork. And so you're set for life once you're done anyways.
No, definitely, definitely. Now, is there any plan out there, or maybe you have a strategy to say, look, if we put X amount of money here, it will pay you monthly or quarterly, so you can pay all your bills. And I say that because I tell, my clients, just as a business manager, I say, look, when you go from the bottom to the top, if you can't live off, for your family, $10,000 a month when you're coming up, maybe you can't live, because most of the world doesn't live off that. And many people are happy with that. And then you can gradually, and this is strictly from Dave Ramsey and other books, that I've read, but I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan. Then you can, gradually give yourself a raise every year as your income increases, if it increases. Some people, athletes, sometimes they're a one trick pony. Not everyone's gonna, like you said, not everyone's gonna be a Bobby. Not everybody's gonna be a Coach Prime. Not everybody's gonna be a Shaquille O'Neal. But do you have any strategy or any tidbits if they call you and say, yeah, we tell our clients this, or do you really just kind of like, we wait to hear everything that they have going on, because some people have a cigar habit that's just out of this world, and you gotta you gotta plug in the cigar habit. But I just want to know, because I sometimes have my strategies, but I'm curious for you to share yours.
Yeah, I mean, there's not one set thing. I mean, it's just really looking at, again, back to each individual and their circumstance and what they have going on. And that's the big thing, is like, again, back to the customization aspect, is we can change stuff around on the fly and adapt to the, as their situations change. Um, especially for like just for an example, like a minor league guy who's just starting out. Yeah, we want to be, you know, probably fairly, because minor league guys don't make a lot anyways. Outside of their signing bonuses, their weekly check is, I mean, it's gonna change here fairly soon. I think they have a voting on it or something coming up. But for the most part, recent years, it's next to nothing. I had a guy, he called me up and he's like, I'm making $200 a week. And so basically that, fairly starting out for a lot of these minor league guys, is just, a lot of them just stay conservative and just, have almost acting as a savings account for right now. But being able to get, 3-4%, whatever it might be, just a small percentage, and stay fairly conservative right now. And then once we get that big contract, and then you're still in your 20s, then we can move towards maybe a more aggressive side or stuff like that. But really, again, every situation is different. So what we do to kind of assess each situation too is we throw everybody we run everybody through a risk assessment test. So it's basically a series of questions, and we get back a risk score of 0 to 100. And so what that does is it takes out that middle ground of kind of a difference of opinions, of, as far as like, if I was to ask you, how much risk are you willing to take on? And you say, well, I think I'm a fairly conservative. I want to be conservative. And then you start listing some stuff you got going on or that you want to be involved in. And I might think you're aggressive. So kind of where we have that 0 to 100 risk score, it takes out that factor, and puts a number to it. And it's like, okay, this is what you are. If it comes back and you got a risk score of 4, it's like, all right, that's fine. So we use the 4, very, very conservative, and we build around that. Now, if it comes back in the 60s, 70s, okay, now we can be more aggressive, with your situation. So like I said, the risk score is a big factor, and kind of how we build out our portfolios, and just being able to, adapt to everybody's situation and what they got going on. I mean, I like to say there's no one size fits all with anything. Everybody's different. Everybody's got different, a different lifestyle, different way they like to go about things, their own spin on stuff. So I can't really sit here and say there's one size fits all. There's one thing that we always, preach on, just because everybody's different, and every client, there's different things involved.
Definitely. Everybody has something going on, but you can't say this, so I will. Some of you guys, your lifestyle is out of order. Your life is out of order. And so it doesn't matter how much money somebody, gives you, that $200 a week. When you said that, I'm like, man, he needs to go to like the Savannah Bananas and start, I love I can't wait to go see a game there, because I think that's how, baseball might transfer some more fans. But yeah, some of you guys are out of order. Some of you guys are doing things you don't have to do. You're having kids, I almost wanted to say Nick's name, but I won't finish that. You're having too many kids. You're going out too much, and no one's gonna feel sorry for you when you're broke. So it's out of order. So
again, that's kind of where we would step in and kind of have that hard conversation of, all right, we gotta slow down a little bit, and this is what we gotta do, because if we keep going on this road, then it's not gonna end well.
Definitely. No, it's interesting how, folks say they get brand new, because you get a check, and the check seems to give you this inflated ego, like it's going to last forever.
I don't know if have you seen the 30 for 30 broke? It was about 10 years.
I've seen
Yeah.
bits and pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great. I think it's one of their better 30 for 30s. Just talking about same thing we're talking about right now is just you know, the money coming in and your life changes overnight, and then you think the paychecks are never going to end, so you spend, and eventually it's not there anymore. So just being able to make an impact on these guys' lives and kind of guide them and help them throughout their careers with that aspect.
Guys, really. And if you are going to spend on things that can make you some money, we all like nice things. I got a big Traeger grill back here behind the cameras, but don't think I won't cook up some barbecue and start selling it if need be. Tell me, with the coaching, the financial advice that you're getting, somebody might say, "Wow, I want to like follow your path." Do they have to finish college, and are there any other certifications that you have that legally allow you to do what you're doing?
So as far as like, I got my all summer I studied, had to get certified. I got my Series 65. So that's the license that I have. Working towards getting my insurance license as well, just so I can kind of have that aspect to combine with it. But outside of that, I mean, I think it's good to have a background in finance and business, because throughout college you're learning a lot of that stuff as you go and kind of how to go about things. I don't necessarily think you need a degree. You could be easily self-taught. I think. Really, the only thing you'd have to get would be the certifications, like the 65, or you can get a Series 6, a Series 7. Myself, like I said, I just have the 65 right now, and then just working towards the insurance side of things as well. And then the coaching aspect too. I mean, I'm sure I mean, it's good to have obviously a background, but there's not, again, with coaching, there's not one set way to go about it. That's what I like about this, is there's really you can put your own spin on things and go about things your own way. There's not really a one direct path in how you can go about it.
And with the Series 65, you haven't done the 7 yet. Can you tell people because sometimes people say, "Well, I'm not good at math, and I'm doing this for like the 14-year-old who doesn't know a Cameron, doesn't know anybody." They're sitting in a maybe or even a rural place, and they're like, "All of this sounds good, but it also sounds like a foreign language," because of course Google is there, but Google can bring up a whole bunch of
Yep.
oh, this is the hardest thing, or this is the easiest thing, or I have certifications where it's open book, and I'm going to let you guys know, open book means open Google too sometimes. So, let them know how long you had to study for the 65 and the cost, if you remember.
Yeah. So the 65, I want to say it was $200 so I studied through Kaplan. And so it took about, 3 months, to get through everything. It's a pretty lengthy, it comes back, you got a book about this thick. I think there's like 24 chapters in it, and it really covers everything, from laws to securities to insurance to, everything, every aspect. And then it goes into it's a 140 question test, 130 are graded, and you have, I believe it's 3 hours to answer them. And you got to get, right now, it used to be, I want to say it was a 68 or a 69 you had to get to pass. Now it's a 72. So you got to get the 72 is the minimum. So it's about 95 in the 90s, I believe, out of 130, really. I can actually do it up real quick.
No, let them Google. You're giving the game, then they gotta, go if they want to find out, because
there.
things can change.
So yeah, it's about a 3 hour long test. About 100, like I said, it's 130 questions graded, 140 questions that you actually have to answer. Just 10 of them don't count. So that's the thing too, is you could get all 10 of those right and it doesn't matter a bit.
And
But
did you have to go inside to take it, or could you take it from home?
No, you have to go to a testing site. So they have a federal testing site in the area that I live in. So I just had to drive there and go through security and all that and sit down at a desk with no noise for 3 hours. You
Awesome.
get a couple bathroom breaks and that's about it.
Awesome. And I really put these questions out because I know people who are even like
Yeah.
paraplegic who, they have some great careers just working from home. And sometimes people feel like they don't want to leave. I knew a guy, him and his dad were making some good money, but he's like, I had to find something to do and I don't like leaving my house too much because of my
Yeah.
condition.
Yeah.
So that's why I say that for people. Sometimes we forget about those people if you're not in that situation or you don't know
Yeah.
people like that.
Well, and
So
that's the thing too, is this is definitely something that somebody, who wanted to work from home or for the most part, stay at home, they could easily do. You can obviously the study and everything that was done on my own time throughout the summer. The really only thing I had to do was the test had to be at a testing site, just to kind of make sure we're not Googling the answers like you mentioned there. So yeah, no phones, nothing. It's just you and basically a mouse, mouse and a computer. That's about it.
no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Can you tell the people, and whether it's in baseball or finance or maybe even something else, it's my signature question I ask everybody. What is your community give back that you are doing or that you would like to do in the future?
So yeah, well, I mean that leads into just the baseball side, and the finance and athletic side. To start, just with investments, just I want to help out as many of these athletes that we can, and just help and guide them, and so that I know it's gotten better. I mentioned that docuseries, the broke the 30 for 30. Things have gotten better since then, but it's still a thing that happens all the time, as far as just athletes not being smart with their finances and blowing it and stuff like that. So just the big thing that I want to do is just help out as many guys as I can in fixing that situation so that this isn't something that we talk about in 15 20 years. Guys are more aware of everything that's going on, aware of their finances, how to go about things, and just being more smart with stuff. And then as far as just baseball specifically, just coaching and stuff like that, just trying to again make an impact on these younger kids' lives of kind of growing the game, helping them develop as best I can, and helping them develop into the athlete that they want to become, and also not just on the athlete side, but as a man too, just kind of helping them mature throughout their lives, and showing them and helping them out how to go about things the right way, and be the best person that you can be.
Oh man, that's great stuff. And this is great stuff for you guys to go check out. And maybe, just maybe if you sign up, Cameron will take you and say he'll invite you to Maine, which is a beautiful state that most people don't get to go to. I've been whitewater rafting. We took a group of kids
Yeah.
back in the day who were suffering from drug issues. I think it was the crabapple tree whitewater rafting, something like that.
Yeah.
But you guys can Google me enough, you'll find pictures. But yeah, it's a beautiful state. Just to kick back, don't go and raise any hell. They know how to shoot out there. But
Come in the summer or the fall, the winters can be tough sometimes.
definitely, definitely. Well, first they got to connect with you. So let them know the best way to connect with you if they have more information, if they want more information, excuse me.
Yeah, so anybody can reach me right on my cell phone, directly, anytime. Text me, call me, whatever. Phone number is 207-538-8706. You can also shoot me an email as well. That's going to be cgraham@bacapitalmanagement.com. That's cgraham@bacapitalmanagement.com.
Man, this is great stuff. You guys have gotten the game, especially for, those, whether you're a client thinking about being a client of mine, or you're just thinking about, you're just listening to it, because that's where the majority of our people are. They're listeners. You just reach out directly, because I don't have to do everything. You got the information. Now you can act on it and get more information and see how you can have a better future. You get better deals when you have teams. Teams make dreams. Before my voice goes out, you guys, make sure you share this game. It will change someone's life. Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stretch the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.